Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with aBlogtoWatch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a review of the Zodiac Super Sea Wolf 68. This is a new watch for 2015 and I really like it. So Zodiac watches, which are under the Fossil group, have a collection which is called the Heritage Collection, and we've talked about a few of them on aBlogtoWatch and we'll continue to do so. And what essentially you have is watches that are themed off of 1960s and 1970s, for the most part, sport watches made by Zodiac, reimagined for today, but very much in the same form, using modern materials, some slightly larger sizes, I think, in most instances, but not all instances. Yeah, I think they're mostly all a little bit bigger, they were big watches back then. Of course, sort of a very serious sporting element to it with that sort of traditional look. Really great quality and in-house made movements. So, Fossil owns a factory in Switzerland called STP, and they make a movement inside of this, which is basically the STP 1-11. It's a three-hand automatic movement with a date. I'm guessing it's very similar to something maybe like the ETA 2824, but it's a good looking movement. You unfortunately can't see it in this particular watch, but I have seen it through other watches, and it looks fine. And that's really cool that now Fossil has its own movement manufacturer, and in these Zodiac Heritage watches you have these in-house made movements, which is super cool. So we've reviewed the Sea Wolf already, and so the Super Sea Wolf, actually, I think that's what it was called back then, was a more intense version of the Sea Wolf, and it's water resistant to 1,000 meters, 44 millimeters wide, but again, it has that sort of lugless look because it has no lugs, so it wears really comfortably. Even though it's like 50-something millimeters tall, it just has a great wrist presence. In addition to this sort of rubber strap that it comes with, there is a Milanese style mesh metal bracelet that does have a nice deployant clasp, and I think it has a diver's extension. It actually looks really good on there, but it's incredibly comfortable on this strap. I mean, really incredibly comfortable. I'll put it back on in a second. I just sort of wanted to show you a few more features. The rotating diver's bezel, it works by pushing it down a little bit and then turning it. So you can't just turn it, you have to push it down a little bit and then turn it, so it's a slight little security system there that I like. One of the things that I found the most appealing about this watch isn't just the overall design, but it's the detailing. And that's where I really like Zodiac today. It's in the detailing, it's in the materials, it's in the finishing. They do so many little things right. It's beautifully done. The bezel, for example, has, I think it's a mineral crystal, maybe even a sapphire crystal, over the bezel, so it's a good look. The dial, the black dial is slightly glossy, and you feel like you can get lost in there. The applied hour markers are very legible. Even the orange hand, I'm not even typically a fan of orange hands, looks really nice in here. You can see the flange ring, or I guess it's a chapter ring there, that's slightly raised up there. It's slightly bluish. Another interesting design element is the actual, I guess there's an inner bezel and an outer bezel. The inner bezel, you can see, it's designed to look like it could be screwed in. And it is screwed in, and it's not perfectly centered in the sense that you have something where it literally looks like it was screwed in, and wherever it locked, that's where it was. And so it adds this sort of tool-style dimension to it. And again, the dial is something that's very deep. Good anti-reflective coating on the sapphire crystal. Just a lot of great little detailing, not just colors, but also sort of materials and finishes and things like that, make for a timepiece that I really, really respect. Oftentimes in the past, watches like this, especially ones that had such intense levels of water resistance, the strap is kind of long, and there we go. It's kind of designed after sort of the isofrane strap. This is not an isofrane, but it's kind of themed like that. The isofrane strap is slightly nicer material, but this is pretty good. And again, I like little elements here, like the buckle is just sort of satin finish there, as opposed to being polished or something like that. So there it is on the wrist. And again, that's a 1,000-meter water-resistant watch, and that's pretty thin, I would say, for a watch like that. Usually watches, dive watches that are a lot more water-resistant, tend to be a lot thicker on the wrist. So this is one of the lower profile, very deep dive watches. Now again, is anybody going 1,000 meters? No, but I don't know what it is. we just sort of seem to be obsessed with numbers. So the bigger, the deepest, the longest, the whatever. We're just kind of into this when you're into watches. These superlatives mean something. So, is this going to be a more functional watch than any of Zodiac's other Heritage Collection divers? No, they're all going to do great for you, but this is the one that's, even more so. So could you go diving with this? No problem. I think it'd be fine, and it also happens to look quite good. Some people are going to be a little incensed by the number of fonts on the dial. I always get amused by this. People complain, there's too many fonts on the dial. Why do they have to use so many fonts? I'm not particularly concerned about this, but there's probably like 3 or 4 different fonts on the dial there. So if you are easily irritated by too many fonts on the dial, you better beware. This collection has a limited edition as well. I'm not sure all the details about the limited edition, but one of the things that makes it different is it's a chronometer. So the text on the dial is slightly different, and there's some slight different coloration. I think it also comes on the bracelet, but there is a chronometer version of this, which just means that the movement has been certified to be more accurate. It's got a little bit special branding. I'm not sure what's a limited edition of, like meaning how many pieces, but that's sort of the top end, and that one's about $2,000. This one on the strap, this Super Sea Wolf 68 is about $1,200, and that goes up a little bit more for the version of the watch on the steel bracelet. So overall, if you like the design, I give it a big thumbs up, and I really think that Zodiac is doing a good job in terms of their stuff, especially in terms of quality and value for the money. Really, it's one of the first times that stuff from the Fossil group was intentionally designed to appeal to enthusiasts, and they've really sort of hit the ground running. So I'm happy to say that, and I'm happy to review this and probably future Zodiac watches. And you can see the full review on aBlogtoWatch. Oh, and this particular model is the Z09501. Talk to you later.